Hello, everybody. Today we are doing a collection showcase. If you're not familiar with this series, check out my link right there to my other videos. I believe this is number 8 or perhaps 9. And basically, it's just a chance to go through my collection of something, some kind of theme, and just review what I have and why I collected and why it might be interesting. I don't know. Today, celebrity autographs. The reason I'm doing this today is because I'm finally getting back into this after about a 10-year hiatus. I really have not sent to celebrities at all in probably close to 10 years, maybe more like 7 or 8. And I just figured great chance to put them all out there and just show you what I have. Sort of have them in about 5 or 6 different categories here. I have Miscellaneous, that's where I just have 1 or 2 of something. It doesn't make sense for it to have its own category. Movie, music, and TV, which is easily the biggest because I was raised on a TV as a third child growing up in the 70s and 80s. I was plunked in front of the television a lot. So, let's go. Miscellaneous, I have 2 things here. I'm going to go kind of fast, but it's also going to be a long video because I do have quite a few things here. So that's a good thing. This is author Billy Mack. That's on a custom card, and he wrote the Dave Niehaus story, a book called My Oh My, and somebody got this for me in exchange for making the card. And I have the book. I've read the book. I enjoy it. Dave Niehaus is obviously someone that's very beloved in this area for good reason. And this didn't feel like a sports autograph, so I keep it with my celebrity stuff. Second thing and final thing in the miscellaneous category, stand-up comedians. My wife and I were fortunate enough to see John Reep, who was season whatever of Last Comic Standing winner, and Adam Ferreira, who's done lots of acting and stuff. Got this done, looks like 2009 on August 22nd. So stand-up comedians, one for them. Next, we are going to the world of music. And unfortunately, I only have 1 rock autograph. I should have way more because I'm a huge rock guy. But a lot of the rock I like is British. And really just can't mail to those guys very easily. And a lot of them are old and grumpy and don't want to sign autographs. But anyway, when he was still with us, I made this little custom for this musician named Donald Dunn, who goes by Duck. And he was in Booker T and the MGs, which is sort of a Stax, sort of a house band for a long time. And they did a lot of work with Otis Redding, who I'm a big fan of. And they even had some hits, most notably Green Onions, who, if you don't recognize it by name, I promise you've heard it. Google Green Onions, Booker T and the MGs. You've heard it, I promise you. During the time I was really into getting the celebrities' autographs, I was also really into Bluegrass. I still like Bluegrass, although I've kind of put it down recently, the last 5 years or so. I need to fix that because it brings me a lot of joy. So I got most of what I have here left for music are bluegrass artists. So Rhonda Vincent, and these are really almost all TTMs. Almost everything I'm showing you is TTM, and that's just something she sent out. It's not a custom or anything, but I did have to send a SACE or whatever from what I remember. Really fortunate to see Ricky Skaggs in concert. And this reminds me, I do have one other Bluegrass auto. I might have to try to add it on the end of this video if I can. But Ricky Skaggs, one of my all-time favorites. Got to see him in concert, but the autograph was TTM on this. That was an awesome day. Fun concert, May of 2005. So didn't actually get the TTM on that until probably 5 years ago. Another group I really like, Nickel Creek, and got all 3 of them on there. Hopefully you can see that. Let's see. The banjo player for a long time did play with Ricky Skaggs, Mr. Jimmy Mills. And I asked for the inscription to Eddie, keep picking Jim Mills. He owns and operates a banjo museum now. I think he still plays. But little known fact, I actually own a banjo. And I'm supposed to know how to play it by now because I've had it for a while. I do not know how to play it. I have not developed a discipline to do that yet. That's my growth mindset. We teach kids a growth mindset, so I'm going to have one too. What do you think of that? Okay, last one. Devil Went Down to Georgia. Mr. Charlie Daniels. And when I got this, I actually got one for my oldest brother, and because he was a big Charlie Daniels fan. And for a while, he had this up in his living room, and I think his wife finally made him take it down. You know how that goes. We wouldn't have anything nice if it wasn't for the wives. So, on to... Oh, we got movies next. We just got movie and TV left. We've only done 6 minutes. But these next two categories are easily the biggest. So, here we go. Rachel McAdams, star of all those movies and a bunch more since then. Just a little custom I made up for her. I heard she was signing... I think I got a lot of these addressed through Star Tiger, and it's a lot per year for me to put $50 out there. But if I want to do celebrity autographs right, that's probably how I'm going to have to do it. So I just have to figure out, I'm dropping things here, figure out if I want to do that or not. Favorite Western of all time, The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. Vera Miles plays the female lead. Still with us to this day. This autograph's probably about 10 years old, but this is just the movie cover. I just printed it off Google Images, and yeah, she signed that. And then I don't remember if I sent this to her. I feel like I probably did because it's the same cardstock as the movie poster. So there we go. Indiana Jones. What's this actress's name? I'm spacing on it. Karen Allen, is that right? It doesn't say it on here. Karen Allen, I think that's right. So this was Kingdom of the Crystal Skull card set, and I was able to get a couple of these. I heard she was signing. So if you're a sports movie fan, you probably know her most as the mom from The Sandlot. Wow, boy, was that a space out. The mom from The Sandlot. That's what most people know her from. So, final movie autograph. Lupe Olivares, Goonies. Also got her on this jobby that she provided. Goonies forever. God bless. And a lot of times when I was doing celebrity autographs, I basically saw who was returning and then determined whether or not it made sense for me to get them for my collection. So that being said, I didn't print this off and then just pray that Lupe Olivares would return it. I saw returns for her, and I said, oh, well, who's that? Oh, she was the maid in the Goonies. Okay, well, great. I'll put something together for the Goonies. Okay, so moving on to TV, the last category. Where are we at here? 9 minutes? Wow, we're doing great with this. Easily the biggest. There's as much here in my TV as there is everything else combined. So let's start with the miscellaneous stuff here that doesn't really belong to a series or anything. Here we go. George Takei, who was in Heroes, on a card. And this is one of my favorite ones because of the silver Sharpie and how it contrasts with his nice suit there. Cool action shot. Well-respected entertainer. That's one of my favorites in my entire collection. This next one I'm going to put up too because I didn't put them with my comedians because This is he's mostly known for being a TV star. I guess this first one should have gone in with movies. But here we go. Mr. Bob Newhart, one of my favorite all-time comedians. Getting on in age. When his day comes, there will be tears shed in my house. So that should have been the movie, a movie return. But here we go. Here's one of his TV series, Newhart. And that show, his name was Bob. In this show, the Bob Newhart Show, his name was Bob. He plays a lot of Bobs. I don't think he was a Bob in Big Bang Theory, but anyway, I guess he didn't want to be typecast, huh? Let's go. Recently deceased, I want to say maybe last year. One of the stars of the Caribou Net show that I grew up watching, Tim Conway. And that's just a little photo I found, printed that off. And he was also the voice of Barnacle Boy in SpongeBob. Tim Conway. This is an old address. I can show it to you. Sure. This was the actual thing that you got back from Wally Wingert. I'm not sure if he still signs or not. But voice actor did basically all these characters and a bunch more. A lot of them are Family Guy, but just animations and things like that. So happy to have that. Bob Saget. Here was another celebrity provided photo. Again, they just looks like I got 2 autographs. This picture is not my actual size. That's pretty funny. Okay, Bob. Funny guy. Okay. This one, be honest with me, you all have Googled your own name to see what comes up. But I did that once and found this actress. She's actually a voiceover actress and does a lot of anime and video games, I think. And I thought I have to just shoot her an email. And shot her my address, and she sent this out. So Kari Wahlgren, same last spelling. And to Ed, great to meet a fellow Wahlgren. Much love, Kari Wahlgren. And I sent her a picture of my kids because I was like, what the heck? Maybe we're relatives, right? And they're cute little kids. I figure at the time I could butter her up for the autographs. So I still see her pop up every once in a while. She popped up on my YouTube the other day. I don't know why, but there was an interview with her or something. Okay. If I say the name Heisenberg to you, who do you think of? Probably Bryan Cranston. Before breaking Brad. He did not break Brad. He broke bad. And prior to that, he was on a comedy, Malcolm in the Middle. Most of you are probably familiar with it if you're over the age of 30 or so. Was the dad in that. And actually got this, I think, before Breaking Bad even started. So I've had that quite a while. Here we go. Everyone's favorite judge, Judge Judy. And I think she still signs. If you find her email address and shoot her an email, you might be able to get one of these. So it's got some staying power. A coworker actually made fun of me for getting this one, but I still like it, and he can make fun all he wants. It's quite a while ago. But if you've ever been in the Cash Cab, you're familiar with Ben Bailey. And he actually does some very funny stand-up. I've heard him on my my Pandora comedy mix. He's popped up a few times. He's got some hilarious bits. Very funny guy. Okay. Some of you know and like Bill Nye the Science Guy. I'm not a huge fan, but I do like Beakman's World. So Beakman's World was sort of like Bill Nye the Science Guy, except honestly, I think it was way better. It didn't have the same reach. because it wasn't a PBS show. But this guy's name is Paul Zaloom. And this is way after the show ended. I got my kids into it when they were younger. And I thought, what the heck? I'm going to find his email or find a way to contact him. And I did. And he said, hey, it's great that there's still fans out there and all that. So he sent one of these for each of my kids. See, it says, Yo, Nick. And there's also like a certificate here. And then somewhere I also have a script that he signed the front of. And I gave these to my boys, and they were probably 6 and 9, maybe even younger than that. And they're like, great. And they opened them and left them on the ground and ran up to their room to play with Legos or something. So I scooped them up, and I thought, well, I'll just give them back to them if they ever want them back. But so I have this, and I have Wyatt's too. But Google some Beekman's World if you want. It's just really entertaining. A great little science show. So now we get into the customs that I made for series that really meant a lot to me and are some of my favorite shows of all time. And not everything that I ever liked TV-wise is represented here, but just sort of what I thought I could get that made sense. And first show, I wanted to get a bunch for this because I just love the show. And you can't find it now anywhere without buying DVDs, which is ridiculous. But I only got one. I've tried probably 6 different people for Northern Exposure. And this is John Cullum. And he was hauling Vancouver. And I have a little letter that he wrote me too. He answered some questions. And he's been veteran TV and stage actor forever, and a really cool guy. I kind of wish that maybe a Sharpie there, and that's the background is the brick, which is where his character owned. That's where this picture's taken here too. If you're not familiar with the show, he was like the owner of this restaurant with his wife Shelley Tambo. Anyway, it's only one for the Northern Exposure collection, and I wish I had so many more, but the actors just went every different direction when the show ended, and it's not in syndication anymore. It's not on Netflix. I don't know. You just can't watch it. My Cheers pile is really sad. You guys actually watched me get this George Wendt auto. This is it. This is my whole Cheers collection. Got thinking about shooting this video, got real sad the other day, and pulled the trigger on the John Ratzenberger, which I'll hopefully get tomorrow or probably more likely Thursday. So I'll have 2 Cheers autographs after that. But I need to figure out how to get more because it's literally my all-time favorite show. If you made me pick one, Cheers would be my favorite sitcom of all time. So I like this because there's a lot of George Wendt autos produced in the last 10 years or so. But most of them will use like a more modern picture or won't reference Cheers. And I just like this one because that's Norm right there. That's what he looked like when the show was on. And of course it references the show. Where do I go next here? Probably in my top 5 favorite shows. After Cheers. A little show called Night Court, which is also from the 80s. And John Larroquette won several, what's the TV award? Grammys? No, that's music. Emmys. Is that right? Yeah, Emmys. I'm really not, even though I have all these celebrity autographs, I'm really not that into Hollywood, believe it or not. Anyway, so here's John Larroquette. He won Funniest Lead Actor several times. Then I think he even won, after he left Night Court for John Larroquette's show, I believe he won a Best Comedy Actor award. So, everyone's favorite court clerk, Mac Robinson, played by Charles Robinson. And a little personalized to EDD. That's interesting. Couldn't really find a great photo of him. Just a black and white jobby. Everybody's favorite, Marky Post. Well, she's my favorite anyway. If you want to do some Googling 80s Marky Post, you can probably figure out why. Bull Shannon, played by Richard Mole. Great character. Sitcoms always put at least one really, really dumb person in the show because it's easy to write for them. And that was Bull. So, where do I go next? I got 3 shows here left to represent. I know who I'm going to save for last. I think we'll do this one next. So, Seinfeld. Jerry Stiller, father of Ben Stiller, played Frank Costanza. This one took like 4 years or something like that. And I had stopped doing celebrity send-outs. And this showed up at my door one day, and I was like pretty excited about it. And he also threw in this picture, which even though he said put AKA Frank Costanza down there, I believe this is him as a different character in King of Queens art something. Just looking from his attire in the set, that looks like a King of Queens picture. But happy to get that to add all the good stuff. Jerry Stiller. Okay, here we go with some minor characters. I think they're all minor characters or supporting characters. Here we go. Uncle Leo, Lynn Lester. I'm pretty happy with my Seinfeld stack. The Maestro, Mark Metcalf. Call me Maestro. I like that. Liz Sheraton as Jerry's mom. This is actually a cut because I sent this and she sent back an 8x10. And then I tried it again and she sent another 8x10. So I have an 8x10 and I have this little cut jobby for Jerry's mom, Liz Sheridan. Peter Crombie as Crazy Joe Davola. Hi, Ed. Thanks for your letter and for watching the show. Peter Crombie. Pretty cool. One episode for Tony Collodi, from the Van Buren Boys. Very funny episode. And I actually have the one personalized and non-personalized. And then he sent a letter to, thanks for your kind words. It's been fun to be a part of Seinfeld. And a third autograph. There we go. And I have some other little notes like that I didn't show, but okay, I'm down to 2. Another top 5 favorite show. So I'm going to show you some customs here. And I sent a custom to this person. And I got this back. So this is Talia Balsam. She appeared in 2 episodes, including the very first episode. She's Alex Rieger's daughter. And I'm thinking of finding a way to make a cut out of this because I just really can't use this. And this was also a long return. It took like 2 years. And I just got, this is on kind of a thick, I don't know what point it would be, but it's a pretty thick piece of paper. And anyway, I want to do something with that. I never have, but here we go. Taxi. These are my customs. Mr. Tony Danza as Tony Banta. And I mentioned every sitcom has one really dumb guy. And this one had a couple, if you want to count Reverend Jim. But Tony was kind of your space cadet for this show. Happy to have that. Randall Carver was only appeared in season 1 and part of season 2. John Burns, I really thought his character was really funny. I don't know why they didn't continue him, but yeah, happy to get that. And I had somewhere, it was on the back. Ed, please forgive Miss for being so late. It fell behind my desk. As for what I'm doing now, McDonald's commercial. I drive a car in a carpool, tasting their coffee. Also in There Will Be Blood, Daniel Day-Lewis movie out November of 2007. I sell him my house. And I have watched There Will Be Blood. It's a really good movie. I need to rewatch it. and watch for Randall Carver selling his house to Daniel Day-Lewis. Mary Lou Hinner, little secret, this is my childhood, my first celebrity crush. So she played Elaine Nardo. Happy to get that. And if you Google Mary Lou Hinner, she has some rare condition that only like 24 people in the world have, where she can remember basically everything that's ever happened to her every day of her life. If you give her a date, November 9th, 1987, she can tell you what the weather was like, what she did with her family, if she was working that day, like what episode they were shooting of whatever. It's crazy. I forget what it's called, but and I have one minor player for Taxi, a guest appearance, and I'm the only person in the world that would write this actor and not try to get like a Princess Bride thing signed. But here's Mandy Patinkin, and in the show, his wife was delivering a baby in the back of the cab, and he was sort of the nervous father. And I believe IMDb says new father, which is what I put here on the custom. But Mandy Patinkin, happy to get that from him. And you can tell this was done sometime after these because the color doesn't match. But whatever, who cares? Okay, last and certainly not least, when this show was brand new, I believe after season 1, I started writing letters to staff, or to cast rather. And I knew I liked the show and I knew it was funny. I didn't know what it would become. I didn't know Netflix was going to be a thing. And everybody in the world would constantly be doing quotes from the show all day. But I still watch it all the time. It's still funny. I still haven't gotten tired of it. So I'm really happy to have these from The Office. This is Kevin, played by Brian Baumgartner, who's very funny. I got 2 more here. I'm trying to figure out which one I want to do last. Okay. Pam Beesly, Jenna Fisher. This was the best Office picture I could find of Jenna Fisher when I made this custom. What does that tell you? It was a while ago. I would probably have preferred something where she's kind of smiling or joking or something, but this is what I could find. So there we go. So my favorite character on the show, maybe short of Creed, and he absolutely carried the last few seasons. Dwight Schrute, played by Rainn Wilson, who was kind of a local. He's a Seattle native, I guess if you call that local. But Sign for Me, and I don't even know what year this was. 2006, maybe? Something like that. 7. Happy to have that one. Bring it home. What'd you think? What was your favorite? I got reviving the collection. I got a celebrity request going out tomorrow. I've got the John Ratzenberger coming in to supplement the very pathetic Cheers collection. And that's that. But thanks for spending some time with me. What did we do here? 28. Woo! That's a long video. Thanks for hanging out with me.